Hey there, survivors of love and war. Welcome back to the front lines, where we tackle not monsters or ghouls, but a creature far more daunting. The dreaded Bridezilla. If you've survived encounters with the supernatural, you might think you're ready for anything. But trust me, nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for the whirlwind of tulle, tears, and tantrums that is a Bridezilla in her natural habitat. Don't fret, though. I've braved these stormy seas and returned with the ultimate survival guide. So, buckle up, Buttercup. We're diving deep into the heart of the beast. Let's turn that till death do us part into till the wedding does us part. Or at least, until you can sneak off to the open bar without getting caught. Welcome to 10 Tips to Survive Your Bridezilla. Pour yourself a strong one. It's going to be a wild ride. Tip 1. The art of nodding. Yes, Your Highness. In the treacherous land of wedding planning, where bridezillas roam free, armed with Pinterest boards and color swatches that could rival the complexity of quantum physics, comes the first and perhaps most crucial survival tip: the art of nodding. Yes, dear survivors, mastering this skill is akin to learning the secret handshake of an underground society. It's your passport to maintaining sanity in a world where eggshell and ivory are considered as distinct as night and day. Picture this. Your bridezilla, in a moment of what can only be described as divine madness, decides that every napkin at the reception must be folded into the shape of a swan. Not just any swan, mind you, but a replica of the rare Australian black swan, detailed down to the beady eyes and majestic curve of its neck. As she explains this, with the fervor of a general going into battle, your only weapon is the nod. A simple yet powerful up and down motion that says, I hear you, I acknowledge you, and I think your swan obsession is perfectly sane. Now, the trick to the art of nodding isn't just in the neck muscles, it's in the eyes. You must perfect a gaze that screams, this is the most brilliant fucking idea I've ever heard, while internally, you're planning the quickest route to the nearest bar. It's a gaze that must convey unwavering support for her unique vision, be it swan napkins, a cake suspended from the ceiling, or live doves released indoors, because who doesn't love a good bird shit gamble at their wedding? But beware, fellow survivor, for the bridezilla is cunning. She may, in a moment of lucidity, question your sincerity. This is where you employ the affirmative echo. Repeat her last 3 words with the enthusiasm of a cult member. Black swan napkins? Absolutely brilliant, darling. It reassures her that not only are you listening, but you're also on board with turning the reception into a bird-themed extravaganza. Let's not forget the strategic suggestion. This is advanced level shit, reserved for those moments when the bridezilla's ideas threaten the very fabric of reality. Swans are indeed majestic, my queen, but have we considered the humble peacock, equally majestic, yet significantly less prone to aggressive shitting? It's a delicate way of steering her away from disaster, wrapped in a compliment and served with a side of sanity. In conclusion, mastering the art of nodding is your first line of defense in the bridezilla battleground. It's about affirming her ideas while keeping one foot firmly in the realm of reality. So, nod wisely, nod sincerely, and for the love of all that is holy, have an escape plan. Because sometimes, the only winning move is to nod yourself right out of the room and into the safety of the nearest pub. Cheers to survival, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Tip 2. Becoming a wedding ninja. Having mastered the art of nodding, you're now ready for the second crucial survival skill in your arsenal against the almighty bridezilla. Stealth mode. Yes, dear friends, there comes a time in every wedding planner's life when being unseen, unheard, yet somehow still omnipresent becomes more valuable than gold. Or, in this case, more valuable than the last slice of wedding cake before the bridezilla decides she wants it for breakfast. Stealth mode is not just about avoiding detection. It's about moving through the wedding planning battlefield with the grace and invisibility of a fart in a hurricane. It's an art form, really. 1 minute you're there, nodding along to ideas about a unicorn petting zoo, and the next, you vanished into the ether, leaving behind only the faint scent of your fear and a bewildered Bridezilla. The key to stealth mode lies in your ability to anticipate the Bridezilla's moves before she even knows she's going to make them. This requires you to listen, yes, actually listen, to her plans, no matter how ludicrous they may seem. She wants a fire-breathing performer to entertain guests. You nod, make a mental note, and then discreetly ensure the venue's fire safety rating is up to snuff. It's about being 3 steps ahead, always ready to sidestep the incoming disaster with the finesse of a ninja wearing ballet slippers. But how does one become invisible, you ask? Distractions are your best friend. Develop a sudden, intense interest in floral arrangements or table settings whenever the Bridezilla's gaze turns your way. Carry around a clipboard full of nonsensical notes. Look busy, look focused, look like you're solving the world hunger crisis, not just avoiding being assigned another task that involves hand-gluing 500 tiny crystals onto wedding invitations. Remember, the goal of stealth mode is not to shirk your duties, but to manage them on your own terms, away from the constant, high-pitched stream of demands. It's about finding those precious moments of peace amidst the chaos to recharge your batteries, sanity intact. So when she looks for you to complain about the Pantone color of the table napkins not being quite right, you're conveniently checking on the peacock, not swan, napkins in another room. Lastly, master the art of the silent exit. When the night draws to a close, and the Bridezilla's attention is caught in a whirlwind of compliments and farewells, that's your cue to ghost. Slip away with the skill of a shadow, leaving only a whisper of your presence behind. Because sometimes, the sweetest victory is not just surviving the wedding, but escaping it entirely without a trace. So there you have it, dear survivors, your guide to becoming a wedding ninja. Stealth mode activated. Now go forth, blend into the shadows, and may your presence, or lack thereof, be the stuff of legends. Remember, in the world of Bridezillas, sometimes the best scene is not being seen at all. Tip 3. The art of misdirection. Dodging wedding woes with wizardry. Ah, brave navigators of the nuptial nightmare, you've successfully mastered the art of nodding and honed your stealth mode to ninja-like perfection. But fear not, for your journey through the Bridezilla-infested waters is far from over. Now, it's time to unveil the third, and arguably most magical, skill in your survival toolkit. The art of misdirection. Yes, dear comrades, it's time to channel your inner wedding wizard and learn the spells of distraction that would make even Harry Potter drop his butterbeer in awe. The art of misdirection is not about lying per se, it's about creatively bending the truth so hard it does backflips. Picture this. Your Bridezilla has fixated on the impossible idea of importing snow for a mid-July wedding because she wants to make a winter wonderland-themed entrance. Before panic sets in and you find yourself on the phone with Mother Nature trying to negotiate a blizzard, it's time to whip out your wand of misdirection. Start with the enthusiastic agreement spell. Snow in July? Absolutely. What a refreshingly cool idea. This initial nod, recall the first tip, warriors, buys you precious seconds to conjure your next move. But have you considered a synthetic snow machine, much more eco-friendly? And think of the poor polar bears. With the grace of a seasoned magician, you've redirected her from ecological catastrophe to a practical, yet still ludicrous alternative. The key to successful misdirection lies in your ability to keep a straight face. If you're suggesting a flock of trained parrots to deliver the rings because she's momentarily enchanted by the idea of a pirate-themed wedding, you'd better say it with the conviction of a pirate swearing by his parrot. This is where your acting skills come to the forefront. Think Jack Sparrow meets wedding planner. Moreover, mastering the look over there technique is essential. When Bridezilla is about to explode because the peonies are the wrong shade of pink, it's your moment to say, "Look over there. Isn't that Aunt Mildred breaking out the worm on the dance floor?" Crisis averted, attention diverted, and you didn't even need to use your smoke bomb. But remember, fellow survivors, with great power comes great responsibility. Misdirection is a tool, not a toy. Use it wisely and sparingly, for a Bridezilla's trust, once lost, is as hard to recover as a dropped wedding ring in a lake. So there you have it, the sacred art of misdirection. Arm yourselves with these spells of distraction, and you shall navigate through the tempest of tool and tantrums with the ease of a wizard riding a Nimbus 2000. Now, go forth, and may your misdirections always be merry, your diversions delightful, and your Bridezilla none the wiser. After all, in the realm of weddings, sometimes the best defense is a good redirection. Tip 4. The Scapegoat Gambit. Sacrificing your dignity for peace. Now, brace yourselves for the fourth maneuver in your battle against the mighty Bridezilla, the Scapegoat Gambit. It's time to don your armor, for you're about to learn the delicate art of becoming the fall guy with such flair that even a stunt double would applaud your bravery. The Scapegoat Gambit is not for the faint of heart. It requires you to take one for the team, diving onto the metaphorical grenade of blame to save the wedding party from the wrath of Bridezilla. Picture this. The wedding cake arrives, and oh horror, the fondant figurines resemble characters from a horror movie more than the blissful couple. Before the bride erupts into a volcanic fury, you step in. "My bad! I gave the baker a picture from Halloween instead of your engagement photo. Silly me, right?" Embrace your role as the lovable klutz. "Oops! Did I just spill wine on the mother-in-law's dress? Clumsy me. I must have tripped over my 2 left feet again." Sure, you'll endure glares that could curdle milk, but in the grand scheme, you've diverted disaster. Bridezilla is momentarily pacified, the guests are amused, and the wedding sails on. Now, executing a successful scapegoat gambit requires a dash of humor, a sprinkle of humility, and a whole lot of not giving a fuck. You'll need to perfect the art of the apologetic shrug and the who-me grin. It's about striking a balance between believable buffoonery and sheer slapstick comedy. Think Mr. Bean at a royal wedding, but with less turkey-on-the-head action. But beware, dear heart, for the path of the scapegoat is fraught with perils. You must tread carefully, for too much tomfoolery and you risk becoming the main attraction, upstaging the bride on her big day. A sin so grave it could see you exiled to the outer realms of the singles table, or worse, uninvited from the open bar. And yet, when wielded with precision, the scapegoat gambit can be your most powerful play. It diffuses tension, distracts from disaster, and most importantly, keeps Bridezilla's eye off the real prize, her soon-to-be spouse, who's reconsidering this whole till death do us part business. So, dear warriors, as you venture forth, remember the power of the scapegoat gambit. Sacrifice your dignity at the altar of peace, and watch as the wedding marches on. A little wobbier, perhaps, but intact. After all, what's a little egg on your face compared to the glory of surviving Bridezilla's reign of terror? Onward, to battle and beyond, with your head held high and your foot ready to accidentally trip into the next crisis. Tip 5. Liquor before logic, the booze buffer strategy. We delve into a tactic as old as time, yet as refreshing as a cold beer on a hot day. Welcome to Tip 5, Liquor before logic, the booze buffer strategy. It's time to learn how to wield the power of the bottle, not as a weapon, but as a shield against the fiery dragon known as Bridezilla. The booze buffer strategy is simple in concept, but nuanced in execution. It involves a careful calibration of alcohol to soothe the savage beast, without tipping her into Godzilla territory. This is not about getting plastered. It's about strategic sips that transform "this is the worst day of my life" into, maybe peach isn't such a terrible color for bridesmaids after all. First, know thy Bridezilla. Does she unwind with wine, or is she more of a tequila terror? Choosing the right spirit is crucial. A Cabernet might mellow her mood, while a shot of tequila could turn your genteel bride into a table-dancing fiend. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide her gently towards the former, with the finesse of a sommelier moonlighting as a therapist. Next, timing is everything. Present your libation right before she's about to go nuclear over the floral arrangements being more funeral than fairy tale. A well-timed margarita break can miraculously pivot the conversation from Carnation's demise to how amazing the DJ is going to be. However, dear comrades, a word of caution. This strategy is akin to handling nitroglycerin. Too little, and you're just two sober souls staring into the abyss. Too much, and you risk a meltdown of Chernobyl proportions, complete with tears, tiaras, and possibly the police. Your goal is a happy buzz, a sweet spot where everything is hilarious, including the fact that Great Aunt Edna is wearing white. In deploying the booze buffer, always ensure there's food in the fortress. A Bridezilla with low blood sugar and high spirits is a recipe for disaster. Arm yourself with carbs and protein. Think of them as sandbags against the flood of inebriated emotions. Lastly, embrace the role of designated diplomat. As you navigate this vineyard of volatility, remember that you're not just a friend, you're a peacekeeper, a whisperer of wine-induced wisdom. When she thanks you in her slurred speech for being the best damn wedding planner / friend / human shield in the world, you'll know you've played your cards right. So raise your glass, dear warriors, to the booze buffer strategy. May your flasks be full, your bridezilla be pacified, and your hangover be merciful. Here's to the liquid courage that turns wedding woes into wedding wows. Cheers, and on to the next tip of survival. Tip 6. Deploy the decoy, a masterclass in misplacement. As we march onward, let me introduce you to the 6th essential strategy in your Bridezilla survival kit. Deploy the decoy. This maneuver is about the fine art of misplacement, or more accurately, the tactical redirection of your beloved Bridezilla's attention to preserve sanity and prevent catastrophes. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where the wedding cake tasting turns into a scene straight out of Cake Wars, with your Bridezilla demanding a flavor that defies the laws of pastry and good taste. It's in this moment of high stakes that you deploy your decoy, a tantalizing alternative designed to distract and delight, steering her away from disaster. The decoy strategy requires finesse and a deep understanding of your Bridezilla's psyche. What's her Achilles heel? Is it her obsession with Instagram-worthy moments? Her competitive streak? Whatever it is, your decoy should appeal to these instincts. For instance, if she's about to throw a fit over the peony shortage, introduce the idea of an exclusive, rare flower that's all the rage in the most fashionable bridal circles. Watch as her tantrum transforms into a quest for this new floral obsession. Crafting the perfect decoy involves 3 key ingredients: creativity, conviction, and a pinch of deception. It's not just about offering up an alternative. It's about selling it with the enthusiasm of a televangelist during sweeps week. Your goal is to make the decoy so appealing that the original point of contention fades into oblivion. However, beware the pitfalls of the decoy strategy. Use it too often, and you risk becoming the boy who cried, "Wedding trend." The decoy must be deployed sparingly and strategically, reserved for moments when all other negotiations have failed and the nuclear option seems imminent. Moreover, always have an exit strategy. In the rare case that your Bridezilla calls your bluff, be prepared to pivot with the agility of a ballroom dancer. Oh, the rare moonflower! Turns out it's actually illegal to import due to its hallucinogenic pollen. How about we revisit those lovely peonies? In conclusion, deploy the decoy is a masterclass in misplacement, a sleight of hand that would make Houdini proud. When done correctly, it not only averts immediate crises, but also reinforces your role as the indispensable voice of reason and creativity amidst the wedding planning chaos. So, dear warriors, arm yourselves with the power of the decoy. May your diversions be convincing, your Bridezilla none the wiser, and your weddings a testament to the art of strategic misdirection. Tip 7. Embrace the absurdity, laughing in the face of wedding woes. Ah, valiant comrades, you've skillfully navigated through the treacherous terrain of wedding planning, deploying decoys and dodging disasters with the agility of a gazelle. But now, as we venture deeper into the heart of Bridezilla territory, we arrive at a critical juncture. It's here that we learn the power of laughter, not just as medicine, but as armor against the slings and arrows of outrageous bridal demands. The key to embracing the absurdity lies in your ability to see the humor in even the most preposterous situations. When Bridezilla insists on having a live elephant as her something blue because she read about it in a celebrity magazine, it's time to chuckle, nod, and mentally bookmark this for the epic wedding toast you'll give someday. This tip is not about mocking or belittling the often outrageous wishes of our dear Bridezilla. No, it's about finding joy in the madness, a giggle in the chaos. It's about turning to your fellow bridesmaids after the bride has declared that all wedding guests must wear hats fashioned from organic, locally sourced, free-range chicken feathers and sharing a moment of silent, hysterical laughter. Embracing the absurdity requires a shift in perspective. When faced with demands that defy logic, like insisting the wedding be lit entirely by bioluminescent jellyfish, take a step back. Imagine you're in a sitcom. Cue the laugh track. How will this scene play out? By finding the humor, you diffuse tension and remind yourself that this too shall pass, hopefully, like a kidney stone. But it will pass. Yet, there's an art to this madness. Your laughter must be inclusive, a shared joke that Bridezilla can eventually laugh at too, preferably after the honeymoon, when she realizes that jellyfish don't come with on-off switches. It's about building camaraderie in the face of adversity, a bond forged in the fires of wedding planning hell. Remember, dear warriors, the goal is to survive with your sanity and friendships intact. When Bridezilla is on the warpath, about to incinerate the florist because the roses are more dusky sunset than romantic blush, a well-timed joke can be the spoonful of sugar that helps the wedding medicine go down. In embracing the absurdity, you'll find a strength you never knew you had. You'll see that beneath the layers of tulle and tantrums, there's a ridiculousness to wedding planning that, if nothing else, will give you stories to tell for years to come. So laugh, my friends, laugh long and loud. For in the end, it's the joy we find in the journey and the ability to laugh in the face of the absurd that carries us through. And so, with a chuckle in our hearts and a smirk on our lips, we march forward. Tip 8. Cultivate your inner zen, the power of patience. In the saga of surviving a Bridezilla, you've navigated through nods, stealth, decoys, and even embraced the sheer absurdity of it all. Now, as we journey further, we reach a serene clearing amidst the chaos. Cultivating your inner zen. Yes, warriors, it's time to master the power of patience, an art form so profound it could make a monk nod in approval. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where Bridezilla demands a handcrafted ice sculpture of the entire wedding party, only to melt into a puddle of despair when it, inevitably, starts to drip. It's in moments like these, as you're handed a hairdryer and asked to fix global warming in miniature, that you must find your center. Cultivating your inner zen doesn't mean you become a doormat to Bridezilla's whims. Far from it. It's about finding a place of calm within yourself, a tranquil eye in the hurricane of wedding planning. It's about taking a deep breath when she decides, 3 days before the wedding, that she wants a flash mob instead of a first dance, and everyone must learn the choreography. The power of patience is akin to wearing spiritual armor. When Bridezilla fires arrows of last-minute changes, unreasonable demands, and emotional outbursts, they bounce off you like pebbles against a mountain. You respond not with frustration, but with a gentle nod and a calm, "We'll make it work." Your serenity becomes so potent, it has the power to diffuse even the most heightened tensions. But how, you ask, can one achieve this mythical level of patience? Start with the mantra, "This too shall pass." Whisper it to yourself when faced with a 10th meltdown over table settings. Practice deep, mindful breathing when the DJ cancels last minute, and Bridezilla is considering using a Spotify playlist manned by her cousin who once went to a music festival. Remember, your inner zen is not just for dealing with Bridezilla. It's a gift to yourself, a sanctuary you can retreat to when the going gets tough. It's about finding moments of peace amid chaos, whether through meditation, yoga, or simply envisioning yourself on a beach far from the nearest wedding venue. And when the wedding day finally arrives, as you watch Bridezilla transform back into the friend you once knew, all the stress melting away with each step down the aisle, you'll know it was your zen-like patience that helped guide her there. You were the calm in her storm, the steady hand in a sea of bridal bouquets and boutonnieres. So, as we ready ourselves for the next tip in this epic quest, remember the power of patience. Cultivate your inner zen, and let it be the beacon that guides you through the trials and tribulations of wedding planning. With patience as your ally, there's no bridezilla you can't face, no wedding disaster you can't overcome. Tip 9. The secret art of delegation, or how to make everyone else do the work. Now, as we draw near the epic finale of our Bridezilla survival guide, we arrive at a crucial, often overlooked technique, the secret art of delegation. Delegation, dear friends, is not about shirking responsibility, no. It's about the strategic redistribution of tasks in such a way that you appear to be everywhere at once, orchestrating the wedding of the century while, in reality, you're sipping a mimosa in a quiet corner, far from the madding crowd. First, identify your allies. That cousin who's always bragged about her organizational skills, now's her time to shine. The friend who claims he can DJ? Hand him a Spotify playlist and let him prove it. It's about playing to people's strengths, or at least their willingness to help. Then comes the art of the ask. This is where your inner diplomat comes out. You're not asking for favors. You're offering opportunities. Wouldn't you love to help create a magical day is much more enticing than, can you set up the chairs? Spin it right, and they'll be thanking you for the chance to be part of the madness. Now, for the masterstroke of delegation, the fallback plan. Always have a professional on speed dial, just in case Cousin Jenny's idea of organizational skills involves alphabetizing the liquor instead of the guest list. This way, when things inevitably veer off course, you can smoothly transition back to sanity without breaking a sweat. Yet, with great power comes great responsibility. Ensure you're not just offloading tasks to avoid Bridezilla. You're guiding your team with wisdom and clarity. Each delegated task is a piece of the puzzle, and you, dear warrior, are the one ensuring it all comes together in harmony. In the end, when you look back at the perfectly executed wedding, where every detail fell into place as if by magic, you'll know the truth. It was your deft hand in delegation that wove the threads together, creating a tapestry of celebration that will be remembered for years to come. So, arm yourself with the knowledge that, in the world of weddings, it's not just about doing it all yourself, but knowing who can do it for you. Tip 10. Remember, it's just a phase, the return to humanity. It's important, in these trying times, to hold onto the memories of who your friend was before the wedding planning began. Remember the laughter, the shared secrets, the moments that solidified your bond. This creature, who now obsesses over the difference between eggshell and ivory, is still that friend, buried under layers of stress, expectation, and an unhealthy Pinterest obsession. As you stand there, dodging unreasonable requests and biting your tongue to avoid confrontation, remind yourself, this is temporary. The wedding, much like any storm, shall pass. The decorations will come down, the thank you cards will be sent out, and the balance of your friendship will restore itself, like the calm after a tempest. In these final moments before D-Day, that's D for wedding day, although doomsday feels apt, take the time to practice empathy. Behind every bridezilla's roar is a scared individual, terrified that their special day won't be perfect. Your patience, understanding, and unwavering support are beacons of light in what can feel like an overwhelming darkness. And when the wedding day arrives and you see your friend, radiant and overjoyed, all the trials and tribulations will fade into insignificance. You'll share a look, a silent acknowledgement of the journey you've undertaken together. In that moment, you'll know it was all worth it. The bridezilla you faced was just a phase, a temporary transformation brought on by the pressures of wedding planning. So, my brave companions, as we close this survival guide, remember that above all, the heart of your friendship is stronger than any bridezilla moment. The wedding will come and go, but your bond will endure, fortified by the trials you've overcome together. Hold on to hope, for soon you'll be reminiscing about this adventure with fondness and laughter. The horrors of Bridezilladom nothing but a distant memory. And when you do, raise a glass to survival, to friendship, and to the power of enduring love. Cheers, warriors, for we have triumphed. And so, dear friends, we draw the curtain on our epic saga of survival, humor, and heart. Through the trials of Tool, the tempests of tantrums, and the triumphs of togetherness, we've journeyed together, a band of brave souls united against the formidable force of Bridezilla. But fear not, for the tales of our adventures shall live on, echoing in the hallowed halls of wedding lore, a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the indomitable human spirit. Before we part ways, I have some final words. Your likes, subscriptions, and those ever-important notification bells. They're the lifeblood of our quest, the wind beneath our wings, and the magic in our wand. By engaging with these small yet mighty actions, you become part of our story, a member of our valiant crew, sailing forth into the great unknown of life's next adventure. To everyone who's been with us through thick and thin, from the first nod to the last laugh, we offer our heartfelt thanks. Your presence has been a beacon of light in the fog of wedding planning, a reminder that no matter how daunting the task, we're never truly alone. As we bid you adieu, we leave you with this. May your days be filled with laughter, your hearts with love, and your notifications with reminders of the joy we've shared. Wherever life takes you, may you always find the courage to face your Bridezillas, armed with the wisdom of our 10 tips and the strength of our shared experiences. Thank you, dear listeners, for embarking on this journey with us. We hope your day is as amazing as the tales we've told, and remember, when in doubt, laugh, love, and hit that notification bell. Until we meet again, keep your spirits high, your drinks full, and your hearts open. Farewell, and may the party never end.